Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to do a shark border. Now this is my own little creation and I think it'll work out great for any border that you would like to do. And this is a 13 plus 1 count. So that means that when you go to do your edging or whatever you're going to do for your blanket or just the dolphins themselves, it is 13 plus 1. So you do 13, 13, 13, 13, and then at the very end you do one more. Okay, and that's for single crochet, and then you would have to you know, figure out how to do that for double crochet if you'd wish, or half double crochet, however you'd like to do it. Okay, but that's what we're doing for this. Now for the materials, I used a 5.5 millimeter hook and a pair of scissors and a darning needle. If you don't know what a darning needle is, sometimes people call it a crochet needle, but let me show you what that looks like in case you don't know. And this is literally just to sew in your ends when you're done with your work. So you really won't need that till the very, very end. But I did use white and gray for mine, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You can use any colors that you wish. Also for the little eye, I used black yarn, and I just cut them off in the back. But you would need to work those in a little bit better for your blanket. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. I did want to show you what it looked like with a different yarn, a variegated yarn. So this is another little swatch that I did. Just wanted to show you that real quick. And I have a little swatch that I made up, and this is just of half double crochets to get us started. For the 13 plus 1, I did a count of 52 so that I can show you how to do several of these sharks. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my gray yarn, and I'm going to start here right in our first stitch, just like this. And we're going to make the tail. Okay, so to make the tail, after we pull in our color and do our chain 1 just like that, that's not going to count as anything, that's just pulling in our color. Then I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to work back down this chain. So in this next stitch right here in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to put a single crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to put a half double crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to put a half double crochet. Then I'm going to slip stitch right here where I did my last half double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to repeat that again. So in the second stitch, I'm going to put 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to put a half double crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to put a half double crochet. And then I'm going to slip stitch right where we slip stitched before, where we did that half double crochet. And now we finished our tail. I'm going to pull tight on my color back here, and that's what it looks like, the tail. Okay, now we're going to change colors to the white. So I'm going to go into my next stitch, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, but this is where I'm going to bring in my white color. So I'm going to pull up, put my hook through, and now I'm going to bring in my white yarn. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch into that stitch with my white yarn. Then I'm going to turn my work over, and I'm going to tie the grays together. Okay, so now I'm going to work 7 single crochets going across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Just like that. Now if you find it confusing to change colors, you can just do it all in one color, okay? So now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Okay, so let's turn this whole swatch over, and now we're going to be working back across the other way. So in this first stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet, and we're going to do 1 half double crochet. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then we're going to slip stitch right here where we slip stitched before, which can be kind of hard to get into. So just try to work into right there so you can do a slip stitch. Okay, then we're going to change to our gray. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work back around again, and you're going to need to slip stitch into this stitch right here where we did our slip stitch before. So that's how we're going to bring our gray back in again. So I'm going to get my gray yarn, and it's still attached, and I'm just going to make sure that it's not overlapping with the white. And actually I do want to cut that off, okay? So cut that gray yarn off now, and we can work that in later. And now we're going to pull in this gray yarn. For our slip stitch. And in the back, you're going to want to tie that together so it doesn't come undone with the white. And now you can cut off the white. Okay, so you've got your slip stitch there. And so now you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and then another one in the next one. And then you're going to do 2 double crochets, 1 in each stitch. So there's 1 double crochet, and the next stitch 1 double crochet, and then you're going to chain 4. We're going to do the fin now. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then working back down into the second chain from the hook, you're going to put a slip stitch. Then in the next stitch, you're going to put a single crochet. And in the next stitch, you're going to put a half double crochet and a double crochet, both in that same stitch. Then you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook and put a double crochet right where you just did this last double crochet. Just like that. Then you're going to do a half double crochet in your next stitch, and then you're going to do a single crochet. Now you still have 2 stitches left here, but we're going to now chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to slip stitch down into this space right here in between these first 2 stitches here. We're going to put a slip stitch. Just like that. And then right into here, right here, you're going to put another slip stitch. And there you've made a little shark. Isn't that so cute? Now what you're going to do for your count is you're going to slip stitch 5 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And don't worry, in case you didn't get this the first time, I'm going to go over it again, but I do want to let you know that I put a black eye right here. Now I'm going to show it to you, but I just want to show you again. Right here is where I put it. So I put it right about there. Okay? So just keep that in mind. But that's what it looks like. Okay, so now we've still got our gray yarn still in place, and we just did our 5 slip stitches. So right after you do your five slip stitches, you're going to start your tail. Okay, so we're going to chain up 4, 3, and 4, and then in the second stitch from the hook, you're going to put a single crochet, and in the next stitch, you're going to put a half double crochet, and in the next stitch you're going to put a half double crochet. And right here where you just did that last half double crochet, you're going to do a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, into the second chain from the hook, you're going to put a single crochet. And in the next stitch, you're going to put a half double crochet. And into the next stitch, you're going to put a half double crochet. And then you're going to slip stitch right where you did before. Just like that. And now we're going to bring in our white color. So right here, right into this space, we're going to do a slip stitch. Actually, that's where we did the thing, so we need to go into our next stitch and do a slip stitch. It's that, and make sure you keep that in mind as well, because that is where we did that first slip stitch, but because this hole is big, it moved over. So I'm going to make sure I go into my next available stitch, not the one we're working into. So I'm going to go into my next stitch like I would be working a slip stitch, but I'm going to bring in my white yarn. Okay, just like this. And then to tighten all that up in the back, I'm going to tie the gray and the white together, and then we can work that in later. You can go ahead and cut off that gray now if you'd like. And now we're going to be working with the white. So we did our slip stitch right here. So now we're going to do 7 single crochets across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And after you turn your work, right in the same stitch right here, you're going to put 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to put 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to put 1 half double crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to put 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to put 1 double crochet. And then you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. And then right here in this very side, right beside the tail, you're going to put a slip stitch. Okay? Then you're going to chain 1 and turn your work again. And this is where we're going to bring our gray back in again, okay? Because right there where we just did that slip stitch, we need to do another slip stitch. So I'm going to go in just like we did before, but instead of bringing through the white, I'm going to bring through the gray. And it's kind of hard to do in this little space, but we brought in the gray. Then we're going to tie them in the back. And I'm going to cut off my white yarn, make it easier to tie. And that pulls that gray right on down. So there we've got our slip stitch. And now we're going to go into our next available stitch, and we're going to put a single crochet. So there's 1, and then in the next, another single crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to put a double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to put a double crochet. And now we're going to do the fin. So again, you chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, and you're going to put a slip stitch. And in the next stitch, you're going to put a single crochet. In this last stitch, you're going to put a half double crochet and a double crochet. Then you're going to do a double crochet right into this space right here. So while you've still got all of this on your hook here, you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook and do a double crochet through this stitch that you just did a double crochet through. Just like that. Then you're going to do 1 half double crochet. Then you're going to do a single crochet. And you've still got 2 spaces to work here, but you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to go right in between these 2 spots right here and do a slip stitch. just like that. And then right here into our blue yarn, we're going to do another slip stitch. And then you would slip stitch 5 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is how you do the shark border. Now, if for any reason you didn't catch anything, you can rewind, fast forward, do anything that you need to do. But that's all I'm going to do, because you can just, it's just doing the same thing over and over again. So right after you did these, you would start again on the tail, then bring in your white, and just keep doing like that. And as I said, you don't have to change colors if you don't want to. But I do want to show you how to put on the eye. So I'm going to bring out my darning needle and some black yarn. Put this black yarn onto my darning needle. And I'm just going to look where we did these before, where I put the eye. Okay, so right here is where I put the eye. So I'm going to go right through here, right next to this gray stitch right here. I'm going to pull my yarn through, and then I'm going to go right up through here, right through the gray, just like this. I'm going to do that one time, and then I'm going to do it again just to make sure it stands out. And then you've got an eye, just like that. So you would do that for all your sharks across. And then through the back, you can knot off or work in. I would suggest working in. So I'm going to go through making sure that my color doesn't show through the front, because you don't want the gray to show through. So I'm going to work through the back of my stitches, just like this. And then after I work it through, then I would knot off. Just like that. Okay, and then you might even want to work that other piece in again, but I'm not going to do that on camera. And then I would cut off, and then I would have my little eye. Now after you work it in, if your eye recesses too much into the yarn, you can take your darning needle and just pull it out just a little bit, even though it's sewed in, just to make sure that it's more distinguishable. Just like that. See? Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, please let me know. Please hit the red subscribe button below. Please like the video. And if you can, I would appreciate it if you would share it to your crochet groups or anyone that you think would enjoy this border. Really, that's how my videos get out there, is by when people share them, and it really helps so much. More than anything, that is just wonderful. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Happy crocheting. Bye bye.